person of Mrs. Fumi Olainkade, and I would invite her to please give us a lowdown of what the Gem Women is. She's the convener, she's the visionary, and she knows better. So, Mrs. Fumi, please, sister.
Oh, wow. Wow. This is a beautiful day. Thank you so much, wonderful moderator, gem woman, Abigail Ojo. I want to say, first of all, thanks to God that has made this day possible. Grateful to God for making this day possible. And I also want to say thank you to my wonderful husband, my sweetheart, for allowing me to focus on this assignment at this time. I want to say thank you to the kids. I want to say to my children, thank you for your support. Thank you for the ideas that you also give me. I want to say thank you in addition to the wonderful gem women that we have, the ones that are here today and the ones that for one thing or the other could not make it in here today. I want to say you guys are amazing. Not to mince words, you are phenomenal. You are a gem woman. Thank you for taking ownership, and thank you for your support all the time. And to the wonderful speakers for today, Dr. Johnson Iyilade and Dr. Bola Otaraki, I want to say thank you. I know you are busy, life can be busy, but thank you for taking time to be with us today, to add value to us. And I want you to know that our paper, our books are ready, our pen is ready. We are also ready to take in as much as you are willing to offer. And to the guests that we have in our midst, I can see my brother Israel. Thank you for joining us. I can see Ore Otaraki. Thank you everyone for joining us. And as it has been highly highlighted, this is the Gem Women Group. And basically, this vision was given unto me because there came to a point in my life that I felt flat and I really didn't know what to do. And I believe, as some people here can also relate with it, there comes to that point in time when you're flat, you don't know what to do. And I knew I wasn't the only person in that position. There will be a couple of people, a couple of women that could also be in that position. But as I was looking for answers, seeking for clarity, I got to that position where God said, okay, gem woman, there's a gem in each and every one of us, especially as women, irrespective of our background, irrespective of our personalities, we all are gem women. And this is where the idea came from. And it's about kingdom women becoming relevant in the different spheres of influence that we find ourselves in. So this is interdenominational. It's not just about, your professional life as women. It's about the centered woman. And shortly, within the time constraints that we have, I'm going to shortly speak to us about how to become that centered woman, how to always come back to that center. But before we go ahead, I want us to open up the chat box and do a little bit of icebreaker. Tell us your name, where you're joining us from, and one more thing, the kind of gem that you have. I want you to type it in the chat box. Where you're joining us from, your name, and the kind of gem that you have. So I want to see it in the chat box here. I've not seen anything yet. What gemstone are you? Because we are all gems, right? What kind of gem are you? What kind of brilliance are you showing to the world? I'm waiting. Okay. I'm joining from Calgary. I am a catalyst. I love that. Thank you. You're a catalyst. Wow. Catalyst speeds up the rate of any reaction. And that is what we have in the Gem Woman. I know Kemi is one of the Gem Woman. She's really a catalyst. I can attest to that. Any other one? I can't see. Any other one? I am filled and I overflow in wisdom. Wonderful. That's phenomenal. Wow. Bola from Canada. I believe that is our guest. That is our speaker. Wow, wow, that's wonderful. I support the homeless and less fortunate into politics. Wow, we have so many gems here. We have so many people shining their brilliance. And one thing that I can notice is that it doesn't really matter where we are. We can shine our brilliance. We can become that centered person. Either we are in the space of the church, or we are in our profession, or we are in the community, we can shine our brilliance. Like Ibukun said, I'm from Nigeria. I'm a star. Wow, thank you. A city that is set upon a hill that cannot be hidden. So we have different kinds of stars here. And I remember that particular part of the scripture that says, stars, they differ from stars, and not
Mhm.
one we hinder one from shining. And that is the
Amen.
concept, that is the idea of the gem women. I know where women are gathered, there's always this thing that is said that we can be so sensitive, so emotional, emotions flying around. There can be, different kinds of conflict. But that is not the kind that we have in the gem women. And that is not the vision that we have. Our vision is to support each other through the challenges of life. Our vision is to give you the resources and the tools to be able to coach yourself through the challenges of life. And of course, to be able to shine your brilliance wherever you are. I am joining from, I think, I don't know how to pronounce this country. I'm so sorry. I am a gem of inestimable value. Okay, Sister Bukola. Sister Bukola is joining from England. She's also a gem. She's part of the community. You say, I am a gem of inestimable value. I love that. That is our value. We cannot be bought by money. And that is the kind of people that we are in the gem women. We know what we are worth. Our worth cannot be bought by physical resources. So quickly, I'm going to share with you how to become that centered woman on my journey of, exploring after I felt flat and didn't know what to do, read the biographies of people, spoken with people, some I interviewed, some I just spoke with on one-to-one. And there was something that was peculiar about each person, which I was able to collate. And the first one is meaning. Having a life of meaning. Meaning is that anchor that builds up strength, that helps us to lean into our purpose and reassures us of a bright tomorrow in the face of challenges. As I said, I've been privileged to interview people one-on-one or in a couple of group. And one thing that was identifiable that distinguished them was that strong sense of meaning. Meaning could also simply say to mean purpose, our why, the reason why you are here at this particular time. What gives you joy? What gives you fulfillment? And for us to live that life of meaning, we have to be able to pull away from distractions and the crowd and really zero in through introspection to find our strength, our purpose, and what brings us joy and fulfillment. Someone said, the purpose of life itself is to find your purpose and to live it. Did somebody hear that? I'm going to repeat. The purpose of life is to find the meaning, the reason why you are here, and to begin to live it. We are living life not as a commercial break. It's not as, okay, there's a movie going on. Everybody is an actor in the movie. So our life is not a commercial break. We are living life in real time. And when we come to the understanding that our life has meaning and matters, we are always able to come back to the center. And that is where we always want to come back with the centered woman. You cannot shine your brilliance without becoming that centered woman. The ability to always come back to the center and identify my values. Do they align with my actions? Which is very important. The second one is reframing. The frame with which we see the world matters. We could either be optimists of the future or we can be pessimists of the future. So the choice is ours. So as I was saying, reframing. The Bible says in the book of Matthew 7:24 to 27, and I will paraphrase. It says, there is a foundation that is built on the rock, and there is one that is built on the sand. So, where do we want our foundation to be? Reframing helps us to see our challenges not only as problems, but as stepping stones to the great opportunities that lies ahead of us. The third one is wholeness. As women, centered women, we have to be women of wholeness. And wholeness simply means the act of successfully integrating the different aspects of our lives. I know a lot of us here, we have cooked before we jumped on the call. Some of us have gone to drop children at the center, at their extra curriculum place. Some of us, we have things to do. So how do we integrate our different roles and identities to make us that wholesome and centered woman that we should be? Every part of our life, our emotional, our mental, our social, and our spiritual life, they are all pieces that should come into place. Because if all these pieces are missing, then we might not enjoy that centeredness and that wholeness. How do we enjoy the wholeness that we desire? Is by setting boundaries. I want us to know that not everything, not everybody that demands for our attention deserves our attention. I'm going to repeat that again. Not everybody that demands your attention deserves your attention. And not everything that demands our attention deserves our attention. We have to be able to identify what deserves our attention per time. We have to learn to say no to some certain things. Give ourselves boundaries, give people boundaries, give activities boundaries, and realize to give ourselves grace. And one thing I will also mention in terms of wholeness is learn to forgive yourself. Maybe there's something that you are aiming for that you couldn't meet. Forgive yourself. There is always opportunity to key in again, to pick up the ball that you dropped and recognize that we as women, we operate in different seasons of life. The last one that I'm going to share is connection and engaging. Connection and engaging. A lot of us, we connect, but we don't engage. The two is necessary for you to become that centered woman. God has not created us to be solid, independent people. We are meant to be independent. And I recognize, as I said before, that due to, women, our nature, emotions can fly when we are together. But we should not let that discourage us. To become that centered woman, we need to connect and we need to engage. Why do I say Jesus, though he was God in the flesh when he came on this earth, he recognized that the things that God wants him to do, the assignment that God wants him to do, is beyond the limitations of his physical confines. He knew he needed a team, so he got together 12 people. He got together 12 disciples as we knew them at this now. And though they were imperfect, there was one that sold him out. There was one that denied him. So many times they did not believe in his vision, but he recognized that he needed to connect and he needed to engage. And that is what we are enjoying the fruit of his connection and his engaging today. That is why they're still called Christians. So it's necessary for us as people, first, to understand that there is more to this life that is meat. We need meaning, a strong meaning in life. Secondly, we need to reframe. Know that not every challenge has come to kill you. It has come to make you better. Thirdly, wholeness. We need to enjoy wholeness, to always allow us to come back to the center, acknowledge our humanness so that we can be of more blessing and impact to people. And lastly, connect and engage.
Wow, wow, wow. That was beautiful. She has really charged the atmosphere. And one thing I think I've been able to take from this, which I've actually been struggling with recently, is not every challenge has come to kill you. Some has come to give you clarity and some to clear your path. And so I think I have to I have to have a shift, a paradigm shift in my mindset when I, face challenges. I should see them as, okay, they've come to clear my path. They're not coming to kill me. And in Nigeria here, everything, the slightest thing will get to you. So thank you for that beautiful session. It was awesome and fantastic. Thank you so much. So we're going to be moving on to the introduction of the first speaker in person of Dr. Johnson Iyade. Dr. Johnson Iyade. I'm going to be reading his profile shortly. And when I actually went through his profile, I was actually saying to myself, whoa, this is a whole lot. So in the next few minutes, I'm going to read through his profile and we can get on to have him on board to have his session. So Dr. Johnson Iyade has over 2 decades of experience in the IT field. He holds bachelor, master, and doctorate degrees in computer science with specialization and expertise in the areas of AI, data processing, computer vision, intelligent automation, and data engineering. He is the founder and lead AI specialist at Glomax IT. Glomax IT Solutions and Services in Canada. He is passionate about providing innovative AI and data-driven solutions and services that add value to individuals, businesses, and society. He is also the founder of AI Group, a platform for networking, empowering, supporting, and educating people working in AI and data-related field. He has served globally as keynote speaker, contributor, mentor, and technical consultant to governments, to organizations, and leading businesses in Africa and in North America. He is also one of the 10 AI Books chapter contributor for undergraduate students selected by Nigeria government 4 years ago. He has also won so many industry awards and recognitions for his contribution and impact in AI and IT. Beyond the AI and analytics world, Dr. Iyade is also a leadership coach, a trainer. He is passionate about equipping and empowering leaders, managers, individuals, and teams in organizations to perform at their best and be all they could be. So with your warm welcome, everyone, I want you to welcome Dr. Johnson Iyade for his session this evening. You're welcome on board, sir.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And thank you for having me on this platform. I'm so excited for what you people are doing, because for me, leadership is one of the core things that is number one on my agenda, because I believe that God has placed us here so that we can lead and we can show the way that others need to go. So I want to welcome everybody to this meeting, and I'm so excited to talk to you today. So my session today, I titled it Cultivating Self-Leadership and Resilient Mindset. I will be focusing more on leadership and resilient mindset that we need to cultivate. Now, so let me start by saying that when you are journeying through life, especially from where you are right now and to where you want to be, the journey begins in the mind. The journey begins in the mind. In fact, throughout the Bible, there is nowhere that God has taken anyone that he has not given them a dream of where they will be. Let me give you an example. Joseph, God gave him a dream twice. He confirmed it twice. He told him, you will be a leader. You will be a leader. And then he was sharing it with his brother. They hated him because of his dream. Now, it took him so many years, okay, before that dream come to pass. But the vision is still in his mind. So the starting point for anything you want to accomplish in life is in your mind. So the determinant of where you will end up is what I call your mindset. And your mindset is driven by your thoughts and your imagination. So the mindset is the way of thinking of a person, the imagination that the person is having, and their opinion or their thought about something, because that is where the real battle is fought. That is the battleground. So whatever you cannot conceive or see yourself doing in your mind, you can't achieve it. The first place where your victory begins is in your mind. If you can't see it, if they say, oh, you will become governor, and you say, no, I can't be. If you already say that, you can be. You can be it. So unless you believe, unless you see, unless you have a mindset that see something coming to pass, you can't have it. So that's why the Bible says in Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7, it said, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So you ultimately become what dominates your thought. If you cannot see yourself as a champion, if you cannot see yourself as a winner, if you cannot see yourself as a leader, if you cannot see yourself rising to some level, you can't be it. You can't be it. And I have had so many experiences in my personal life that God will put something in my mind, I will just share it, and some people will say, you are stupid. Because to them, they cannot see it the way I'm seeing it, and it's okay. I remember before I came to Canada, God gave me the dream that is bringing me to Canada. At that time, I wasn't thinking Canada. I was only thinking UK, that if I finish my PhD in South Africa, I'll just go to UK for my postdoc. That was my thinking. But God said, I'm taking you after 3 years to Canada. If the first day God said it to me, I write it down. And I was telling everybody, they say, you are stupid. You have not even finished the PhD, and you are saying you will go to Canada. I said, I'm just telling you what God is telling me. But because I believe it, and what I did is I write it down, I paste it on my fridge, because I know I will open the fridge every day. So if I'm opening the fridge, I will make that confession. I was making it day by day, and my mind was just on it, that I'm only spending 3 years here. After 3 years, I'm going to Canada. Guess what? It happened exactly the way God said it. So the mind is the first place where you have to win in life. If you lose in your mind, guess what? You will lose in the physical. The battle is not physical. It starts in the mind first. If you cannot see something in your mind, you can't imagine it possible, it won't be possible for you. And I put here that two people can look at the same problem, at the same challenge in life, but they see it through different lenses in their mind. Okay? Somebody is seeing something as a problem that the person needs to run away from, okay, and avoid. But another person is seeing it as an opportunity to run towards and pursue. Do you know that most of the problems that we are thinking that people are facing, that our world is facing, there are people who are thinking about what solution can we bring to that problem. While you are thinking about, this is a big problem, I think it's not going to work, things are not going to work, you are running away from it. But some people are already thinking, what solution can I use to address this? So they see it as opportunity. And that's the difference. So you can see something as a problem, but other people see it as opportunity. For example, the case of David in the Bible. For 40 days, Goliath didn't do anything. The only thing he was saying is he was talking, and everybody was paralyzed by fear. They said this is a giant. You know, when you talk about giant, in the days of the Israelites, giant is something that you have to run away from. That's why the children of Israel, they say, there is giant in the promised land. We can't go there. So everybody was running away from Goliath for 40 days. But when David came there, he said, who is this uncircumcised Philistine? I will bring him down. So you see it as opportunity to win. You see it as opportunity to actually, because he's threatening God's people. Anything that touches people is an opportunity for you. Anything that touches people. You don't have to solve all problems, but there are problems that people are facing that you know that God has equipped you to solve. There are problems that they are facing that God has given you the ability to solve. So that's an opportunity, because challenges, they are bred for champions. So the way that you see life is what I will call your attitude. Your attitude to life, it determines your altitude. How far you are going to rise is based on your attitude. How you see things will determine how things are going to go. So opportunity or problem, it depends on the perspective that you take. So, and as you journey through life, I want you to know that the road is not going to be smooth. If you look at the story of Joseph that I told you, if God give you a dream, don't you think if Joseph wake up the next morning, he would think he will be in the leadership position? No, but he starts with being in slavery. He went through so many experiences for many years, but yet he didn't lose the focus on the vision that God gave to him. So you will go through challenges, but challenges, they are bred of champions. So to become a champion, you have to cultivate some mindset. Number one, opportunity mindset. So see challenges that people are facing. If you can identify the problem, you don't have to solve every problem, but if you can identify the problem that people are facing, you have seen opportunity. In fact, every business is set up because of the challenge that people have. Every business is set up to address the challenge that people have. So if you can look at every challenge that you see as opportunity, then you have a solution. Okay, number two is that you need to have servant mindset. Okay, servant mindset. The God's kind of leader is a servant leader. That is, you come to serve. Like when Jesus came, Jesus didn't come because he need to go to the cross on his own. In fact, if it's up to him, he doesn't want to do it. But because the only thing is that he need to save people. So he has to serve us. He has to serve what we need. So you have to look at people too. What are the needs that people have? Ask yourself, what are the challenges that people are facing? How can you leverage on your gift, your talent, your skill to solve that problem for them? That is a servant mindset. I am here to serve you with my gift. I am here to add value to you with my gift. If you have that servant mindset, you will be able to solve a lot of problems that people are facing. Number three thing is you have to have a champion or winning mindset. Now, when you are going through challenges, a lot of people will say, I don't think this is for me. I can't do it. I can't do it. They are the ones limiting themselves with nothing else. I can't do it. The Bible says the righteous might fail 7 times, but he will rise again. Why? Because you have a champion mindset. You have a winning mindset. So you have to have that I can mentality. Even though I fail, yes, I will try again. Even though I fail, I will try again. You apply for a job, they say, oh, sorry, we have moved on with that. You might have a lot of no's. But do you know the people that are in marketing, they know this strategy. They don't care how many people say no. If they still send marketing things to you, because if one person say yes, they have already achieved the goal. So it doesn't matter how many difficulties or challenges that you face. The only thing is you are going to eventually reach your goal if you have a champion or winning mindset. And then the last one is growth mindset. Growth mindset. A lot of people, they have an idea of what they want to start, but they are waiting for perfection. Oh, I don't think I have everything now. I don't think I'm still going to. No, don't wait until you are perfect. Start with the little that you have, and then it grows. It becomes growing as you go in the work. So you don't have to start big. You don't have to start with everything. You start with small. So you have to have a growth mindset that, yes, it doesn't have to be perfect, but I will start with the little that I have, and then I know that it will multiply, because the principle that the Bible teaches us is the principle of seed and harvest. Seed is a very small thing, but when you plant it, it can become a big thing. It becomes a tree, and it brings so many harvests. So the same thing, don't wait for perfection. Start with the little that you have and start growing as you go. So growth mindset is another mindset that you need to have. So now let's talk on self-leadership. So this quote by Andrew Brandt, he says, self-leadership is the process of intentionally influencing your own thinking, your own feeling, your own actions, your own behavior to achieve your desires, goals, and objective in life. Self-thinking, self-leadership is a process of intentionally influencing your own thinking, feelings, actions, and behaviors to achieve your desired goals and objectives in life. And I want you to note the word intentionally. That means self-leadership is not something that happens automatically. It is something that you have to intentionally pursue. It is not an automatic process. So you have to align all your thoughts, all your feelings, all your actions, all your behavior to where you are trying to go, where the objective, the goal that you are trying to, you have to align it by intentional, because it won't happen by chance. You have to be intentional about it. So that's why, for me, when it comes to leadership, in the hierarchy of leadership, the first level of leadership is self-leadership. You can't lead others until you lead yourself. You can't lead others until you lead yourself. So self-leadership is you leading you. Until you can lead yourself well, you will struggle to lead others. So, and that's the first step that you have to take. So the toughest leadership challenge that any of us will face is to lead ourselves, because some people are very good at commanding others, telling others what to do, and so on. That's okay. But unfortunately, they cannot do the same thing that they are telling others themselves. So the most important challenge is leading yourself. Leading yourself. And John Maxwell put it this way. He said the toughest person to lead is always yourself. Yourself. So self-leadership requires you to lead by example, that others can look at your result. They can look at what you are achieving and they want to follow. That's why we follow Jesus. If Jesus is just talking, and there is no action that can prove what he's saying to us, then we won't follow him. But we follow him because everything that he told us to do is something that he also did. He washed the feet of his disciples. Yes, he's just showing them what a servant leader looked like. And he said, after he gone, you also watch each other's feet. So the reason is he show it by example. So self-leadership is very important. Okay, so we have to be a leader that lead others through our actions, through the decisions that we also make. So it's not about just pointing people and saying this is the way to go. Okay, it's actually leading them by example. So I put here some leadership habits that you need to cultivate, some self-leadership habits that you need to cultivate. Number one, self-leadership requires you to journey through life with clear visions and goals. You have to journey through life with clear visions and goals. And I put an example here. So imagine that you are taking a flight. You go into the airport, you enter a plane. And as soon as you are on board on the aircraft, the pilot made a shocking announcement. He said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to tell you that I do not really know where we are going. I plan to just coast around and see maybe where we will end up. Are you going to feel safe to be in that plane? I don't think so. You will just tell the pilot, please, can we come down? I want to come out. Because he doesn't know where he's taking you. So how will you be in that plane? You don't want to be there. So the same thing in life. You cannot be a leader without a clear vision and goal. And it starts with you before others can follow you. So you have to be very clear where you are going. It's not everything that is going to be in your own focus or your own agenda. Everybody has different visions. So you have to have clarity of your own visions. So what separates leaders from followers is vision. Leaders, they lead first with vision. So they lead with clear vision. This is where we are going. That's why Jesus said, follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. And he's a good shepherd. He leads us as a good shepherd to green pasture. He already told us where he's taking us. So you have to have clear vision if you are going to be a leader. And the Bible says in Luke chapter 6, verse 38, he said, a blind man cannot guide a blind man, can he? Will they not both fall into a pit? Imagine that you are a driver and the driver of the car is blind. He cannot see. Will you be in that car? You won't be there. You won't be in that kind of car if the driver cannot see. So the driver must be able to see. So the same thing, if you are going to be a leader, the first thing that you need to have is a clear vision and goal. And you have to be strategic and intentional in setting some goals, because you will never achieve anything that you don't prioritize, that you don't say, I want to achieve. If it's not clear in your mind, it won't happen. It has to be something that is clear in your mind. Clarity is very key. So the truth is, life is a journey from where you are right now to the destination you are desire. But it is the vision that will capture your purpose, your assignment, your calling, your gift, your direction, and destination that you want to reach in life. So you must have that clear vision. And the way that I want to encourage you to do it is have it written down clearly. I do it every now and then. If you see this is my daily thing. I share all the things I want to do. I have another one for my yearly goal, what I want to achieve in that year. But every day when I wake up, the first thing that I do is to write out what I want to do for that day. Because if I don't write it down, my brain will just be all over the map. My brain will not focus on what I need to focus on. But when I write it down, the reason why we write it down is that the brain is able to focus on what is written. Because if I write 5 things down, my brain will be telling me, you have only done 2, there is 3 more. But if I don't write it down, my brain will just forget that it's 5 things that I need to do on that day. So writing is very important. That's why God told Habakkuk, he said, write the vision, make it plain, that those who read it might understand it. So it's very important that you write it down. So first, you have to have clarity about what you want to accomplish in life. What are the things that you want to accomplish in life? Everybody's vision is different. So you have to be clear about what you want to accomplish. Number 2, every year, at the beginning of the year, what do you want to accomplish this year? What's your primary goal for the year to accomplish? Write it out. Be clear about it. Number 3, every month, write out what are the things that you want to accomplish in that month. Write it out. Then number 4, weekly, write out for this week, what are the things that are a priority for me to accomplish this week? And then every day, write out. You see, what you are doing is you are breaking it down little by little, little by little. And what you will discover is that when you form that habit of writing it out and accomplishing it, if you fulfill your daily goal, you will discover that it becomes a habit. Your brain will just go to work that I have 4 more things that I need to accomplish today that I've not finished. I need to finish it before I can do other things. So it makes you develop a good habit. So vision and goal, they are very important. They will help you to actually achieve more. Then the second thing that I think, if you are leading yourself, you need to have as a gift is you need to maximize your life by maximizing your time. You need to maximize your life by maximizing your time. Now, in life, we are not all in the same level, but the only thing that every human being have in common is time, not money. Okay? There are people who are richer than others, but the only thing that we all have in every person is we only have the same amount of time per day. So we have 12 months in a year, 52 weeks, 365 days, 8,760 hours, 525,600 minutes, and then 31,556,952 seconds every year. But what do you do with the time is up to you. Some people end up the year, they didn't accomplish anything. but a lot of people accomplish more in that year. So the greatest gift that you could ever have is time. So that is why you have to be very careful to maximize the time. In fact, the word maximize means to make the best use of your time. Make the best use. The only resource that you have is time. That's why in Ephesians chapter 5, verse 16, Apostle Paul says, make the best use of your time. Ephesians 5:16. Make the best use. That is, you maximize the time. Make the best use of your day-to-day time. And if I can ask you, what has been your experience with time this year? I know everybody will have different different experiences on how time flies. If you ask me, I will say, I can't believe that it's already October. I can't believe it's already October already. I mean, it still looks like, we are just starting the year, but yet it's already October. There are some goals that I set this year that I have not accomplished myself. But what I'm saying is that the way to maximize life is to maximize time. So some people will say, oh, time is going too fast. I need more time. You won't have more time. All you just need is the one that you have, make the best use of it. Because there will always be excuse. There will always be reasons why some things cannot be done. But the only way that you can make your life better is to maximize your time. So, and we live in a world that is full of so much distraction. I mean, I'm in the tech world. I know. I know. Some of us, we grew up in the days when there is no phone. I don't have TV in my house. No TV. The only thing is I have to read books physically, okay? There is no e-book. But in today's world that we are in now, they said people spend average of 4 hours, 40 minutes on phone per day. And on social media, they spend another 2 hours, 23 minutes per day. So can you imagine? That's almost like 7 hours of their day. How many hours do you have in a day? You don't have much. But now, these things are taking our attention and focus away. They are taking our attention and focus away. So the only way for me to maximize your time is to learn how to control yourself and your time, because the world is filled with a lot of distraction. In fact, one thing that I believe is the weapon that the enemy wants to use is distraction. It's a weapon that the enemy wants to use. He knows that if you are doing something that is great, if you are doing something that is impactful, the only thing that it can take your focus away is to distract you. And we see an example of that in the Bible. Nehemiah, he has a vision to rebuild the broken wall. And when he went to his country to rebuild the broken wall, do you know what the enemy did? They are sending him messages. Please come, let's meet together here. It's a distraction. They want him to leave the work that he's doing and come and meet with them. They are just trying to waste his time. Nehemiah tells them, sorry, I am doing a great work and I cannot come down. In Nehemiah chapter 6, he said, I'm doing a great work and I cannot come down. And the Bible says they repeat it 4 times. Can you imagine? They repeat it 4 times. They said, please come. And he still said them no. You know, sometimes some of us, we feel guilty when we say no to some things. It's okay to say no, because sometimes there are things that are just for distraction, to make you lose your focus from what you are supposed to achieve. And to me, everybody will have excuse why something cannot be done. But you have to learn how to say no to some distractions and focus on what is important and urgent. So the only way to maximize your life is your daily decisions to maximize your time and focus it on important priorities and goals. You always have excuse why something cannot be done, because there is distraction. But if you can just say no to distractions and say yes to your goal, you will achieve a lot more. Now, there are 4 things I want to share about time before we go to the next step. Number 1, your time is your most valuable asset on the road to success and greatness in life. Until you are able to control how you spend your time, you are not in control of your life. And Jim Rohn put this quote. He said, time is more valuable than money. You can get more money, but you cannot get more time. The time is already fixed. You can get more. All you need is to maximize it. So it is your most valuable asset. Don't just waste it. Make sure that you make the best use of it. Number two thing that you need to know about time is that what you spend your time on is your personal choice. Okay, I can decide what I'm going to spend my time on, but your own might be different. That's okay. But what you spend your time on is what indicates your priority in life, your focus and your priority in life. And so that's why when there is anything that is designed to distract you, you have to learn to say no to distraction. Okay, so what you spend your time on is your personal choice. Okay, let me just move quick. Number three, your time is limited. Don't procrastinate on what you need to do now. Okay, a lot of people will say, I'll do it tomorrow. Then when tomorrow comes, I'll do it next week. When next week comes, I'll do it next year. There will always be excuse, but don't procrastinate. You have to maximize the limited time that you have because you don't have enough time. In fact, as you get older, one thing that you wish you have more is more time, but the time will be going so fast. So you have to maximize it. Number four, when you have poor time management, it can also impact your health and well-being. So it would lead to a lot of stress, it would lead to a lot of anxiety, it would lead to a lot of panic. And so you want to make the best use of your time so that you maximize it. All right. Number three things that I also have here when you are talking about self-leadership is apply a daily habit of self-discipline or self-control. So self-discipline is ability to do what you should do, when you should do it, whether you feel like it or not. That's by Albert Hubbard. So you have to have that self-control. And the Bible put it in Proverbs chapter 25, verse 28. It said, a person without self-control is like a city with broken walls. That means you are vulnerable. Okay? Without self-discipline, there is no boundaries. So it means that you are vulnerable, okay? Without self-discipline, you are vulnerable. So, and it means you are not protecting yourself. So self-discipline is very important. You need to learn to say no to some things, like I said. So, and for me, self-discipline requires you to make some sacrifice today for a better life tomorrow. So if you want a better tomorrow, there is a sacrifice that you have to make today. Today's sacrifice is tomorrow's success. In fact, for as parents, whatever things you are doing now, you are laying a foundation for the future of your children. So any sacrifice you are making now is laying a foundation for the future of your children. So we have to work in self-discipline. And for me, that's something that I want you to also bear in mind. Finally, the last part, cultivate a resilient mindset. Okay, this is attributes that you need to cultivate for self-leadership. Cultivate a resilience mindset. In fact, the most successful people in our world that you know, they all have one thing in common, failure. They are not afraid of failure because they know that they can bounce back from failure. They learn some things not from reading books. They learn it from experience. And so failure is a teacher. You can learn some things when you fail to know that, okay, next time I'll do it this way. So failure is not on the opposite of success. It is part of it. And challenges are the bread of champions. So if you are afraid of failure, then you cannot succeed in life because the road to your success is not smooth. You go through a lot of failures, but you have to have that resilient spirit that I'm not giving up. You have to have that resilience. So resilience is the process of adapting well in the face of adversity, trauma, or significant sources of stress. You are saying, I'm not giving up. I will keep pushing until I reach the goal. And that is very important. And I have 4 things that I want you to cultivate to build resilience. 4 things that will help you to cultivate resilience. Number 1 is you have to believe in yourself and nurture a positive view of yourself. Even when others doubt you, because you have people that will say you are not good enough. You have people that will doubt you. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. And the best thing that I believe you can do is to make daily affirmation of who you are. Jesus even himself did it when he was here. He said, I am. He always say, I am. If you look at the book of John, he always say, I am. I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door. I am the good shepherd. You know, he always say it just because he need to affirm it. You also can look at it and affirm it. And you can also say, like David, I can run through a troop and leap over a wall. When you begin to make those affirmations, it begins to give you upliftment, because the battle begins in the mind first before the physical. Number two thing is that you have to make decisions daily to move forward towards your goal. Okay, there is no overnight success. So little effort that you are making per day, moving towards your goal, they are very important. Don't wait until perfection. Start little and start moving little by little, and that will move you towards your goal. You will wake up one day and you say, wow, I've already finished this thing. I never know. So little effort, they matters. Number three, be open to change and stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, a lot of people are not taking action because they are afraid of failure. They don't want to fail. No, if you want to stay in your comfort zone, you won't grow. But if you really want to grow, you have to be ready to step out of your comfort zone. So that's why you have to face new challenges. You have to be resilient to any challenge that you are facing, because without challenges, there is no champion. Number four, you have to follow and build connection with the right people. Now, it's not everybody that will be in your inner circle, but you need people that are optimistic and faith-based people that are encouragers. So we are wired for connection, but there are some people that they are in your life to just pull you down. They are pessimists and they are fear-based. So the people that you also follow, they can determine where you end up. Like the children of Israel, the 10 spies, they bring bad report. The 2 people, Joshua and Caleb, they bring good report. So if you follow the 10, you will end up in the wilderness. But if you follow the 2 that are optimistic and they are faith-based, then you will get to the promised land. So I believe that the people that you also follow, that you have around you, they are supposed to be a source of encouragement, support, and empowering you. So if they are always bringing you down, then they don't deserve to be around you. So you have to choose who are your friends very carefully. All right. So thank you so much. I think that's the end.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So much. In fact, if not because of the time frame, we would have just continued this session.
Yes.
I love the fact that you said challenges or is an opportunity for us to win.
Yes.
And I think that really hits me. Yes.
Yeah.
So instead of looking at it as, something that has come to obstruct your way, you should look at it as something that has helped you to win, that is helping you or on your path to win.
Yes.
So thank you so much for the mind-blowing session. That was such an amazing session. Thank you so very much. Thank you. Now, because of our time, we'll have to move on quickly to our next speaker. And then I'm going to be reading an introduction briefly. Okay. So our second speaker is impressing of Bola Otaraki. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Okay, so Bola Otaraki is a seasoned professor, speaker, servant leader, mentor, coach, trainer, a senior project manager, mother of 2, management consultant, and chemical engineer with over 25 years experience, directing successful high profile, high risk, high impact, multi-million-dollar global projects concurrently in multiple regions and continents for global organizations. Bola has won awards for her portfolio management work as well as community partnering work, including the 2023 Toronto Police Community Impact Award. and was inducted into the Black Canadian Women Wall of Role Model in 2016. Bola is a two-time nominee of the RBC Top 25 Canadian Immigrant Award and a winner of the 9th Remarkable Mothers Award in May 2024. She is a minister with the Redeemed Christian Church of God and is sold out to Christ. Volunteering is a way of life, and she has a passion for lost soul. Welcome with me, Mrs. or Professor Bola Otaraki. You're welcome on board, ma'am. So for the next 20 minutes, we're going to be listening to Professor Bola Otaraki as we draw from our wealth of knowledge. You're welcome on board, ma'am.
Thank you so much, and delighted to be here. I've been battling a bit of a cough, so if you see me coughing, I'll try to mute myself so the germs don't spread. But I want to thank Pastor Fumi. I want to thank the organizers. I want to thank those that have come, that have joined. I see so many people that they've honored us with their presence. Thank you so much for joining us today. And I'm glad that Dr. Johnson and my darling Pastor Olayinka, they've said so much as if they had my presentation already. So I'm so delighted. I picked some key things that will also form part of the foundation of what I'll be talking about. Not everybody or everything that demands our attention deserves our attention. That's what Pastor Fumi said. Very key, very important. And then Dr. Elade Johnson said the mind is the battleground. The battles of life are fought and won first in the mind. It's as if he had my presentation, right? And what we're going to be talking about is how to develop and deploy brilliance. And, knowing that I come from the academic background, I will do a little bit of research on it, and I'll tell you what, I believe is my take and the expectations of how you can develop and also deploy brilliance. What is brilliance? We'll talk about that. And I want you to be interactive. If you have a question, put it in the chat, a comment, raise your hand. I want it to be interactive. I don't know if we'll even spend 20 minutes, but I'll just go through this discussion. And, I am in academia. I learn from students learn from me. I have a few on the line, and I'm so delighted to see everyone here. So how can you be brilliant? I'll start with, two stories. One is the story of a lady called Esther in the Bible. So Esther faced challenges. She was an orphan child, no resources, nothing. And she entered into a beauty competition. Esther came from next to nothing to become a queen. And then not only that, Esther identified an opportunity. There was an opportunity for her to advocate for her people. She took up that opportunity, she ran with it, and she was successful. And the Jews were no longer extinct. They were supposed to be killed, all of them. Esther had a defining moment. You'll read all of that in the book of Esther, chapters 1 to chapter 10. It's an interesting story, close to my heart. A second story I want to share with you is a story of somebody we can see, Malala Yousafzai. She advocated for children education, that women, especially female children, why are they not being allowed? And this was in Pakistan. That was her calling. She felt passionate about it, and quite frankly, she exhibited brilliance. Same with Esther. They exhibited brilliance on something maybe they didn't even start out planning to exhibit brilliance on, right? Malala is a Pakistani female education activist. She was shot in the head at the age of 15 by Taliban, trying to suppress her. She was on air. She talked about her passion, and she was the youngest person to win the Nobel Peace Prize at the age of 17. So that's an exhibit, just two stories about brilliance. I could share my own personal story, but I don't want us to go there. I have so many stories to tell. So as an educationist, what do we know to be brilliant? What's the meaning of brilliant? You could have it as a descriptor. It describes brilliant, very bright, radiant, brilliant sunshine, sunshine illuminated the scene. That could be me when I appear somewhere. That could be you when you get to an event, when you join a group, you exhibit light, brilliance. How about if it's a noun? It describes a person exceptionally clever or talented, a brilliant young mathematician. So it is a descriptor and it's also a noun. It's a person, How can you be that, described by that word brilliant? You have to first take stock. Take stock. Where are we starting with? What do I have? Where do I want to go? How can I use what I have to showcase brilliance? You take stock. And Dr. Johnson talked a lot, so I can go really quickly. So thank you so much, Dr. Johnson. He talked a lot about most of the things I would like to share with you. So you already have that foundational background. Write things down, make notes, have a goal, have a plan. Decide on who you are. Understand who you are. Understand, do not let, and they say that if you do not know who you are, people will describe you and will, blind Bartimaeus, right? The woman with the issue of blood. If you don't know who exactly you are, you may not come out of that situation. So you really need to take stock. You need to know who you are. Look at yourself in the mirror. Understand how brilliant you are. What is it that makes you brilliant? And then, again, referring to what we've heard from Pastor Layika and Dr. Ilade, focus, have a plan, work the plan and plan what you are going to be doing. Focus on what you need to get where you're going, what you want, right? And then have a good understanding, a full, like an unshakable, I can't overemphasize this. Have an unshakable understanding of exactly who and what you are in terms of brilliance. If you do that, you will understand where you're going to shine. You're not going to be brilliant in everything. Trust me. You will not be brilliant in everything. Find out where you are brilliant in when you take stock, and then permit yourself to shine as brightly. You are the light of light of the earth. Matthew 5:14. The light of the world, a town built on a hill cannot be hidden. Neither do people light a lamp and put it under a bowl. Instead, they put it on a stand and it gives light to everyone in the house. In the same way, let your light shine before others that they may see your good deeds and glorify your Father in heaven. So that shining of light goes with action. It's not all light and no, good deeds. It goes with action. And then again, you are something so spicy, something that wherever you are, you're going to make things really, really delectable, right? You are the salt of the earth. What is salt? Food is bland without salt. It has no taste. So in actual fact, not only will you shine, but you make places appear better. It's a better taste, it's a better environment, it's a better perception. The salt of the earth is in Matthew 5:13. The salt of the earth. If the salt loses its saltiness, right? How can it be made salty again? So you are the solution to what people are looking for. Again, in describing who you are, you want to know exactly who you are and where you stand, right? You're a king, you're a queen, you're a priest, define yourself. Look in the mirror as you're taking stock, define who exactly you are. Okay. 1 Peter 2:9 talks about your chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, his own special people, that you proclaim the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light. So you are shining that light. You're brilliant already, but you just need to take steps. You need to showcase. How do I go about it? Study, 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 study. Be the best of a certain aspect, a certain topic, a certain challenge, a certain thing you're advocating for. There will be something that you will do that even if you're not paid for, you enjoy doing it. Doesn't matter. Do all day long. You've got to be real. You've got to be you. I am not you. You are not me. We are all individual, different. As it so appears, every single person has their own fingerprint. Interestingly enough, even twins. Interestingly enough, DNA, same. Everyone. And we've fought the biggest battle, which my darling sister and I were talking. If you think you've never won a battle, how about coming into this earth? I hear there's a big battle with all the sperms, millions of sperm that are swimming, and boom, you were victorious and you came out. How about that? What tools did you use to get yourself birthed? None, right? So if you feel, oh, I have never been victorious about anything, you have been. So rely on that understanding. Keep moving, stay focused. Don't overthink things. Don't judge yourself. Keep on moving. Each step you celebrate. Make a milestone, celebrate. And we're all a work in progress. We are all a work in progress, every single one of us. So we have the opportunity to be brilliant. This is a refiner's kiln. What does the refiner do? The refiner sits and watches, and that's a diamond, when a diamond is being formed, and turns it over, makes sure it gets to, and the heat is unimaginable, the extent of heat. Sometimes we're going through that heat. We are being refined. We're being fine-tuned, right, to be brilliant. So in terms of studying, you've got to know where you are going to shine, or what areas you're not going to shine in. As I said, not every area. You've got to pinpoint and then begin to zero in, pull off the layers. Where am I going to shine? The Olympics is done every 4 years. People practice from when they were born. I will not call countries, but they are brought up as Olympic medalists from when they were even born. So you need to also, in that line, prepare, study, and then you are brilliant at what you are brilliant at, not what I am brilliant at. I may be brilliant at, I love networking, I love joking, and that's personal. Other people are brilliant at other things. So you've got to develop what are you a gem at? You're a gem, and as we had put in the chat, we all have what we are a gem at, what we're focused on. So what's the who, the what? Define everything. When, where, why? There's the story, and we have very little time, but there's the story of the son and his dad and a stone. And he was asking his dad, how much is my life worth? And the dad told him to take a stone and take it to different places and get the value. Eventually, he took it to somewhere where the stone was valued at 200,000. He said, the dad said, only raise 2 fingers. Don't say anything. Initially, the stone was valued at $2 somewhere in the market. No, this is just junk, right? So you have to be in the right place. And then embrace new skills. Consistently and constantly improve. You know, we hear about it even in industry. We hear of Xerox that's gone out of business, copying. Nobody copies. Who copies? No, not really. Now it's not like before. BlackBerry, same. You've got to embrace change. You've got to keep, who is a thought leader in my area? Who is an expert? How do I tell my students in class, I say, every postulation, every model was written by someone. Somebody said, oh, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I'm going to think about it. And you can postulate your own idea, or you can support an idea, or you can challenge an idea. But you've got to, there always has to be that opportunity for change, right? And while you are, oops, I think I stopped sharing. While you are building yourself up, can everyone still see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yes, we can view. We can view your screen, yes.
So while you are building yourself up, you don't have to publicize. It's not everything that everyone needs to know, fortunately or otherwise. You build in secret certain times. You build undercover. You build, improve undercover. Yes. So you celebrate. So I'm just expatiating on what we've already talked about. You celebrate, you have a life of, marking those milestones, marking the milestones. Key takeaways: choose what you're good at, become an expert, be brilliant, stay brilliant, right? And also have people around you that will challenge you, that will motivate you, that will push you, that will improve you as well. Iron sharpness iron, right? Have people around you and take action. And this was the scripture that my sister, started in her prayer, the opening prayer. So I'm delighted that, we can also close on that note. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon you. Isaiah 60. So thank you so much for joining, for listening. Thank you for the opportunity. It's my pleasure to take any questions, comments that we might have.
Okay, thank you so much, Professor Bola Otariki. And I'm going to quickly say here that there is a saying that the 21st century illiterate is not the one who cannot read or write. It is that person who has refused to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Because we need to grow, build capacity, get ourselves informed, and be equipped. And that is part of what we've come here to do today. Thank you so much for putting this up for us. We've learned a whole lot. Thank you. I love the fact that you told us to celebrate whether you win or not, your strengths, your weaknesses. Just celebrate yourself. It's part of what it fuels you to actually do more. And I'm really grateful for this session. Thank you so much. I'm sure every other person too has actually gained a lot from this session. Okay, we're going to be moving quickly to the Q&A session, the question and the answer session. And that is going to be handled by Sister Kemi. So if you've been listening to us since, should I say, some few minutes past 6, the time has come for you to ask that question that has been bothering you. We have experts here that would help you, just shed more light on it so everything can actually go well. So Sister Kemi, please come on board. Thank you.
So much. Today has really been great and so impactful. In fact,
Exactly.
I know that we came with our cup empty today, and I'm sure it is filled. So we'd like to take some questions. Do we have any questions? Yeah, I have some questions.
I'm sure moderators too can ask. I have one. You can go ahead.
Okay, so yeah, you can go ahead if you have your question already.
You said what?
Do you have your question? You want to ask
Okay,
question?
yes. My question is actually directed to Dr. Johnson Iyiola, and during his session, he actually mentioned something that has to do with self-leadership. And in the process of self-leadership, you have to intentionally influence your own thinking, feelings, and behavior to gear you towards where you want to be. Now, it laid emphasis on the word intentional. Now, I want to really ask. I know the act or the process of being intentional about anything that you have to do, but I've come to also know that intentionality, as I think, it has to twin with willingness. Sometimes you have that, you want to be intentional, but that you don't have, you're not motivated enough to actually put your mind to that stuff. Sometimes you're distracted. There are so many things popping up in your mind. And I think that brings us to the to-do list you actually told us to do. Like, you plan your day so you know what and what to do per time. But somewhere along the line, you find yourself drifting. I find myself in this position a lot of time. I have my to-do list. Once I tick like 2, 3, I'm overly distracted. And 1 hour to my closing time, I feel myself rushing. I have to rush to do all of this so that I can complete the day's task. Now, because I'm rushing, normally I won't be able to finish up until I have to reschedule probably to the next, and then the circle goes on and on and on like that. So it has actually, I don't know if there are tips. I don't know if there are things that can actually help, to keep you on the spot where you really need to finish up the task. And when you finish up, there's this sense of fulfillment it gives to you. You feel like, oh, you're charged up for more. And I don't know if you can actually help with 1 or 2 things that can help in this. Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much for that. So, so what I would say is that what we need to form is habits. Habit is something that is like a routine that you already set up to position you for success. Let me give you my example. If you call me 5 minutes after 9 o'clock, sorry, it will go on voicemail. My sleeping time is 9 p.m. Nothing more. Everybody that knows me knows. If you call me after 9, sorry, you won't get me. And my wake up time is 5 a.m. Maximum. I can wake up 4, but maximum is 5 a.m. By 5 a.m., I'm out of bed. It's a habit. I've already developed it. So even if I don't even have anything to do, my brain will just say, oh, sorry, you are supposed to wake up 5. Because I form it as habit. So, and the other thing also is that you can set up time when you are going to respond to messages. Okay. For example, you have so many people that are say, please, I need this. They will message you like somebody in my case. I receive probably more than 20 messages every day, but I don't have to respond to it immediately. I can say, okay, during my break time, maybe around 12, I will respond to the messages that people send. So if you set up that habit is something that is very important so that you know that, okay, my focus during maybe from 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. or 9 a.m. to 12 is on my work. But between 12 and 1, I will focus on responding to anything that I have as messages. Then between 1 and 5, I'm focusing on my work again. Between 5 and 7, I'm focusing on cooking and all other things. You can set up that and let it be a routine that you do. The moment you do that, your body will adapt to it, your brain will adapt to it, and you will discover that it becomes like something that you do regularly. And to me, that's something that you have to do. And your own doesn't have to be mine. You just have to find out what works for you most. That's something that you have to do.
All right. Thank you so much for that. I think that really helps. It helped me. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. All right.
All right. Thank you so much. That was amazing. It was as if you read my mind. Like the question I was going to ask is related. So my own question is like, just as doctor has suggested, you write down the list of the things you will do. But mine is, I'll write it down, try to write it down. But before you know it, I don't even know where the list is. And I might not even look at the list until maybe later in the night. I'm not like, okay, what are the things I said I needed to do? So there's a lot of struggling around balancing your time management. So I don't know, is there like a strategy to use? Like, do you have to stick? Because I know some people stick it on the script. So are there like strategies that you can actually use to monitor that list that you have written? Thank you, sir.
Okay. If I would say what I use is there are events, there are activities. I have so many. I have so many events that I engage in. So what I do is I put those ones on my calendar. I put those ones on my calendar. But when it comes to my daily things that I have to do, I just write out what are the things that are important. Now, there are other things that I can still do, but they are not important. Okay? But I write out the things that are important that has to be done that day. Then I will have to set a time to it. Now, what I do mostly that help me is I put my phone away because I know by the time my phone is around me, that is a distraction. I might just see a message that come in, and before I know it, I already spent 30 minutes on the phone. So I always put my phone away. It's not around me. So the only thing is my schedule, my daily schedules too. I always put it, say, okay, I already write within 9 and 10. I'll finish it now. Sometimes I might say 9 to 10, I'll finish something. It might take me maybe extra 20 minutes or 30 minutes. It's still fine. But at least I have a budget. I have a timeline that I set for it. So I just stay focused because it's all about focus. If you don't have that focus, other things will just come and then your focus is taken away. So for me, if you start having that habit of discipline, that's why I call it self-discipline. Discipline is ability to control how you are spending your time, where you are putting it. If you can have that self-discipline, then you will discover that it becomes a habit, and then you'll be able to achieve a lot within a day. So that's something that for me has worked for me.
Amazing. Thank you so much, doctor. That's actually kind of give me like a strategy that I will apply, and that will definitely help me to improve in my time management.
Yeah.
And just one thing, I know some people are.
I just wanted to add a little bit to what Dr. Johnson said, because a lot of us here are ladies, women, and we're in different seasons of life. Everything doctor said is correct, is right about self-discipline. But what we also need to understand is that he mentioned about priorities. As we are, writing down those things, set up the 3 or the 2 important things that by the end of that day you would want to achieve. No, because that is what I do. Okay, because at the end of the day, I want to rest. When I'm resting on the bed and looking at, okay, what have I achieved today? Those 2 things, I want to say that I have done them. And that is where your fulfillment comes in, I have done these things. Another strategy I use is the using over matrix. Out of the things that you have listed, which one is important, which one is urgent? You have to do them right there and then. Which one is important? Which one is not urgent? You can delegate it. Which one is not important and it is not urgent? It is on the lowest, list that, okay, if I don't do it, I don't even need to do it. And that is where social media comes in, scrolling down. Another thing I use is that I have a limit on social media. I might be on Instagram. It's 15 minutes a day. I told my son to help me set it. 15 minutes a day. If it's 15 minutes, they say you have extended your limit. Then it now comes to me if I want to extend the limit or I want to get out of it. So, and most times I just stop it and get out of it. Another one I use is because of WhatsApp. A lot of people are coming in, asking for this, asking on that. I just put myself on mute. Because if not, the things that you say you want to do, you will end up not doing it. So those are some of the strategies that we can use as women. And looking also at the stage of life where you are in. Look at the season of life you are in. What are those things that are very important in this season? And use some of those strategies. Identify every day the two important things that you need to do that is on top of your priorities. And we find out that it eventually becomes an habit. Sometimes I still drop the ball, but I discover that I'm getting better every day.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow.
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. I think there is a question in the chat box. Professor Bola has actually answered, but I think I would like her to talk about it. The question says, what are the practical steps you need to take to find your brilliance so you can shine in it? Okay, so Professor Bola, I want you to throw that open to every one of us so we can hear from you.
Okay, thank you so much. So I think you need to take stock. You need to know who you are. You need to know what your passions are. You need to know your interests. You need to know your capability and what you're starting with. What are you working with? So what you would shine in is not what anyone else would shine in. You have to really be clear about what interests you, what are you passionate about, what can you advocate on. I got drawn into politics because I was passionate about this sex ed curriculum. That's how I got into politics. And I ran for a position. And, I didn't win that position, but I did get into politics, won another position. And for 2 years, I was vice president with Ontario PC Party. Right? So just sometimes you decide on your own. Sometimes it's based on your passion and what events happen around you. You're able to shine in one area or the other. I hope that answers the question.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, Professor Bola. That's sincerely appreciated. Okay, I think that'll be all for today. That'll be all for today. Thank you, thank you, everyone, for this beautiful session. And for everyone who has started with us and has stayed up till this time, we are sincerely grateful. Thank you for your time. We actually can buy that. Thank you for making it count. Thank you for making it count. If there wouldn't be any other question, I think I would invite Sister Fumi to please say the closing prayer.
Wow, this has been an awesome section. I don't know what to say, but just to appreciate everyone that has taken time out, to be here today. And I also want to apologize. We're scheduled to just have this for 1 hour, 30 minutes, but we are like 10 minutes over time. But I also believe that everyone has benefited from this discussion. I have my notes. I have my notes full. I have my notes full. I have my notes full. I just want to show being brilliant to being disciplined. It's been a phenomenal event, and I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you to the GEM women community. Thank you for taking ownership of this program today. I appreciate each and every one. And this is the GEM women. We did a much more formal introduction before we started. If you want to be part of us, it's not about a particular group of people. We are a kingdom-minded women, and we want to become better versions of ourselves. That is why we are called GEM. Each person brings their brilliance, and together we nurture and support each other. And they're amazing and phenomenal women. Sister Kemi, you can please post the link if anybody wants to be a part of the GEM Women community. You are welcome. We have programs like this sometimes, and we also have where we meet, we do pray, and we do hold the hands of God. So thank you everyone for joining. Also, we do have a feedback form. We want to know what we did well, how we can do better. There's okay, she just posted the intake form. If you want to be part of this community, we have members in England, we have members in Nigeria, we have members in Canada, and the mission is to have, you know, members everywhere so that we all gems can come together. I said it at the beginning, when women come together, there's all sort of cantankerous emotions going on, but not in the gem. Everybody understands their brilliance and the shine in the places of their purpose. That is the vision. And going into every sphere of influence to bring the kingdom of God. There's also the feedback form. There's a QR code. Just scan the QR code with your phone. Stakemi, can you also post the link? Sometimes give us a feedback form. We want to know how we did, what we can do better. Feedback is a gift that we sincerely appreciate from you. And lastly, I want to say thank you again to everyone. I am amazed by what God has done today, and I know greater things He will yet do. Passion is towards seeing women thrive in their places of purpose. Thank you once again for joining us, and God bless you. Hope that when we call on you next time, you will answer us swiftly. To my wonderful speakers, wow, Dr. Johnson, I appreciate you quite a lot. You know I love you. My Sister Bola Otaraki, my sister, my friend, thank you. My heart goes to your heart. God bless you a lot. Thank you, everyone, and God bless us.